Over the weekend, Secretary Rubio announced that the State Department will be you can't make this up, will be scrutinizing the social media of visa applicants from Latin America to see if they are secretly collaborating with the Chinese government. Where the devil is this going, and where is it coming from, aside from Rubio's paranoia about all things Latin America?
Look, Judge, I don't know. I mean, China is the boogeyman inside the Beltway. If you want to point to a problem of some kind, so it's China's behind that. China. Remember when President Trump first ran for election back in 2016, he would stand up there and say, China.
Right.
Well, we're back to this nonsense. And we were both at the RPI conference. And I said, everybody needs to come to terms with the reality that the Chinese are not behaving today any differently from the way they have over the last 2,000 years. And I learned this when I was in Japan and Korea. They said, do you see any Chinese in our universities, in our laboratories, industrial engineering centers or anything else? I said, well, I don't know. I said, no, there aren't any there. What are you doing? The Chinese have this long-standing understanding, if you want to call it that, or standing procedure. When a Chinese leaves China, if he finds anything that's of value, real value, that the motherland could use, it's his job to either buy it or steal it and get it home. All the Chinese students that come to the United States understand that. So the real issue is we're not dealing with the normal espionage. We're dealing with a culture and a way of life that, frankly, is not consistent with how we do business. And if you're really worried about this sort of thing, then send them home, or limit the numbers that come in and carefully vet them. But as far as Latin America is concerned, this sounds to me like a backhanded way to punish somebody down there who decided to do a deal in Brazil or Peru or Ecuador or Colombia or Venezuela or somewhere else with the Chinese. I mean, we know right now that the Venezuelans are putting together arrangements with the Chinese to come into Venezuela, repair and restore the oil and gas infrastructure, in return for which, obviously, the Chinese are interested in oil and gas. That may not be the only thing. And everybody's upset over that. But what we fail to point out is, look, we could be doing this with the Venezuelans. We're the ones that have decided that the Venezuelan government is unacceptable to us. We're the ones that won't talk to them. We're the ones that insist on regime change and keep trying to install our puppet. This stuff has got to stop. It's a waste of time. These countries are not going to change dramatically on the basis of threats from us or through our military intervention, as we've learned. But we don't see it that way. So instead of behaving rationally, we're doing what you just outlined. And I guess this is Secretary Rubio acting in his national security vein. I don't know.